let's get into this algebra. Remember, if at any point you have questions, please put them on the chat and only raise your hand when I tell you to raise your hand. Otherwise, it all becomes a little bit complicated. Righty. So let's start with something nice and easy to ease ourselves in. Just ignore the writing at the bottom. We're going to look at question 1 to start off with. So it says Chloe is now 13 years old. Okay, so we know how old this person is. I want to know how old she will be in 1 year's time. So on the chat, how old will she be in a year's time? Just pop your answer on the chat there. It's not a trick question. Don't overthink it. She's 13 now. How old will she be in a year? Nice, guys. Okay. So we know that if she's currently 13 and we want a year's time, we would add 1. And so that gives us 14 years old. Cool. If she's currently 13, how old will she be in 2 years' time? So again, on the chat, tell me how old she's going to be in 2 years if she's currently 13. Nice. She's currently 13. We're going to add 2 years to her age to get 15 years in 2 years' time. Right, so let's think about the last one here. It said, how old was she 4 years ago? So if she's 13 now, how old was she 4 years ago? Think carefully about what that means and then tell me on the chat how old she was 4 years ago. Nice, guys. Okay, so she is 13 now. We want 4 years ago, so we take away 4, which means she was 9 years old. Okay, so that's quite easy, like nothing too complicated there. And this isn't algebra yet, but what this does train us to do is it trains us to think about what sort of operation we need to use in order to get our answer. And there's a very deliberate reason why I have chosen to write the 13 plus 1, 13 plus 2, 13 minus 4. That's because when we eventually start to set up our own algebraic expressions, we need to be able to note what operation it is that we're using to describe a situation or to describe a problem. And so this is what we're going to have a look at now. So take your screenshots of this if you want, but we're going to really start with the algebra now in this next question. So you're welcome to take a screenshot of question 1. Hopefully there's no questions yet. Just because I can see someone is struggling. Alrighty, so let's have a look at this table. So it says teacher Sam is X years old. So that's me, I'm teacher Sam, I am some age. I don't know what that age is. I'm X years old. And this is now where algebra comes into play. When we don't know the actual value of something, we use a letter to represent the unknown. All right, so the second we start introducing letters, it means that we don't know the value of this thing. It has some value, we just don't yet know what it is. And so to represent it, we use a variable. Now, most commonly, we will use an X, but honestly, you can use any letter. A lot of people will use A's and B's. Y's come up quite a lot, but honestly, you can use almost every single letter. We avoid letters like I because I has a meaning in maths. We avoid O because O might look like a 0, but pretty much any letter can represent an unknown. We're going to generally use X's, and that is what you will see most of the time, but I just want you to bear that in mind. Okay, so teacher Sam is X years old. That's me. I'm some age. And now we want to write down my age under different scenarios. So the first one says, how old will I be, or what is my age in 3 years' time? So I'm currently X. In 3 years' time, I will be X plus 3. If we think about it like this, we're in 2023. 3 years' time will be 2026. So if I'm currently X in 2023, adding on a year to 2024, I'll be X plus 1. Adding on another year, I will be X plus 1 plus another 1, so X plus 2. And then adding on another year, I'll be X plus 2 plus another year. So I'll be X plus 3 years old. And so whilst we can't work it out in terms of I am this years old, we can write an expression for this. So what I want you guys to try is to write down an expression for these last 3 scenarios. So the expression of my age in 7 years' time, expression of my age 4 years ago, an expression of my age for last year. So in the chat, let's just maybe number this A, B, and C. I don't want any hands yet. In the chat, put your answers for A, B, and C. What expressions would you write down to represent my age in 7 years' time for A, 4 years ago for B, and last year for C?
Let's go, my people. Let's go.
Okay, and like Boitsu and Bulela have put there on the chat, number your answers. Otherwise, we don't know what's what.
Let's do, guys. Let's do this.
You got it, guys. Like I say, this is not anything too tricky here, so don't think I'm trying to trick you if you think it's too easy. It is supposed to be nice and easy to start off with. If you are struggling, that's also absolutely fine. This is a hard section. Algebra is hard. And so we just need to go step by step. Nice, nice. Oh, English. Turned away too. Very nice. Nice list of answers there. Guys, please wait for me to say hands. Otherwise, it all becomes a little bit confusing with what's happening with what. I haven't asked for hands yet, so everyone needs to lower their hands. We're just giving everyone a chance or two to get their answers down. And guys, remember, as Yolanda said, you're writing these answers down. When we go through the answers, you need to then do corrections, or you need to mark your answers. To me, if you already know algebra, that's awesome. Hopefully this means that this will be nice and easy for you, but obviously this isn't going to stay this easy this whole course. We are going to start to amp things up a bit. So this is now just the basics, and we'll get into the more complex things as we go along. Oh, excuse me. Alrighty, guys, so now is the point. If you would like to raise your hand to give me some answers, now is the time to do that. Lani, do you want to help me with A? There should be a little pop-up to unmute yourself. There we go. Okay, what's A?
A is... I'm struggling by age. I don't know what to say.
Okay, well, it's in 7 years' time. So would I add 7 to X? Would I subtract 7? What would I do with the 7?
The 7 plus...
Should I ask someone else and then you can have a think?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, have a think. Let's see. Didn't Leah help me with A? Didn't we can't? Oh, there we go.
No, we can't hear didn't. That's what I wanted to say. Didn't it looked like your audio on our side, we cannot hear you, either because of your, remove your headsets. Just try that process. Yeah. Or maybe you need to open, yeah.
Have you unplugged your headset, didn't you?
It looks like she did, but we still can't hear her. Dinta, I would advise you to just we will let it be like this, okay? So that you can try and see if you can talk to us, if there's an adult that can help you with your volumes. I'm sure it's just on your side. Either the volume is too low or something, but they can help you with the setting. Velo,
you
you
might
want
need
to help?
check your audio setting, your audio selection.
Yeah.
Hi, ma'am.
I'm Velo.
How are you, ma'am?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, ma'am. So for A, what I did, ma'am. So you see, teacher Sam is 8 years old. So what I did is I said X plus 7.
Perfect. Excellent. So guys, 7 years time, we are adding 7 years to the age. And so exactly X plus 7. Very nicely done. Tatso, whoopsie, I don't know what's happening. Sorry. Tatso, do you want to help me with B?
Yes, you're going to say X minus 4.
Excellent. So guys, X minus 4, because it's 4 years ago, so it's in the past. If you go up to like my number line situation here, it would be in 2019. So we want to take 4 years away from the current age. So that would be X minus 4. Nice. Okay. Tumi, do you want to help me with C? Should be a pop-up to unmute yourself. There we go.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, so what I did, ma'am, is by C, I said X minus 1.
Excellent. So guys, X minus 1, because it's only 1 year ago. And so there are our values for the age. Now remember, we don't know the age. All we know is that the age is X. Whoopsie. And so what we've done here is we have written down what we call algebraic expressions to represent my age at different points. So these are called algebraic expressions. Now we are going to work a lot with algebraic expressions in terms of simplifying them, in terms of writing them ourselves, in terms of taking a word problem and coming up with our own expression. But whenever you have expressions with variables in it, you're working with an algebraic expression. And what they do is they express a scenario in terms of X, or in terms of the variable that you are working with. Right, so take your screenshots. Whoops, sorry. Take your screenshots, and then we're going to have a look at another example. And what you guys need to see here is that because I now have these expressions, if I now say to you, okay, teacher Sam is 20 years old, I'm not 20 years old, but if, for example, I said I was, we could now go work out the ages. 3 years time would be 20 plus 3. I'm replacing the X with 20, so I'd be 23. In 7 years time, I'd be 27. 4 years ago, I was 16. 1 year ago, I was 20. And so through substitution, if I give you a value for your variable, you can go and work out the value of your algebraic expression. Righty, guys, while you are taking screenshots, if anyone has questions, now is the time to raise your hand. Otherwise, we're going to move on to the next example. So if you have questions, raise your hand, ask me your questions. Do remember, though, you can put questions in the chat, or you can send them to Yolanda or myself.
Let's go, my people. So all those ones that we're saying we don't understand, please put your hand up. By doing that, there's a reaction button that you need to click on the reaction button. After clicking, you'll see that there's a raise of hand, and that's how you need to do it, okay? So if you did not understand, please do that for us so that you can explain where you don't understand and teacher Sam can explain to you. Yes, Tawana. So please, the rest of you, you are listening to Tawana's question and the answer also, because some of you, your questions will be answered. Tawana, you can ask.
Good evening, ma'am.
Hi.
Evening.
I wanted to know, is it an algebraic expression if I add an equal sign after my expression, or does it become an algebraic equation?
It becomes an equation.
Oh, okay, ma'am. Thank
Okay,
you.
so guys, sorry, I realized my camera's off. My internet's been a bit funny. Yolanda was lagging, so I think my internet connection's a bit dodgy. So I've just turned my camera off, hoping that it'll sort itself out. The second we add an equal sign, we now have an algebraic equation, and we're going to get to equation. So very nice, good thinking ahead. We are going to get there. Okay, I'm hoping we've all got those screenshots. Let's move on along. So like I said, guys, the point of this is for us to be able to write expressions, but we need to be able to read questions carefully in order to write an expression. Now, again, this might seem very straightforward. This might seem like, why are we doing this? But if we don't read a sentence properly, we're going to end up writing down the wrong expression. And sometimes that wrong expression can result in us getting the wrong answer. And so we need to read carefully and understand exactly what is being asked of us. Okay, so I'm not going to do all 5 of these. You're going to try some by yourselves. We are going to do A together, and we are going to do C together. Right, so if we have a look at question A says add 5 to X. So I'm currently sitting with X, and I want to add 5 to it. So I put a plus sign, and I add 5. So that is my algebraic expression. It said state the algebraic expression for each of the following. I have done that. I've got my X, and I've added 5 to it. That's all I need to do. If I then look at question C, it says subtract 7 from W. So we need to read carefully. It says 7 from W. So what that means is I'm starting with W. So let's say it's W rands, and I'm subtracting 7 from it. So it needs to be W minus 7. I started with W, and I took 7 from W. Now, guys, what you need to bear in mind here is that in addition, order doesn't matter. So 2 plus 3 is 5. If I swap those around, 3 plus 2 is still 5. So order in addition doesn't matter, which means that thus x plus 5 could be written as 5 plus x. It means the same thing. But when we get to subtraction, if our order is wrong, our expression is wrong, because 2 minus 3 is negative 1. And 3 minus 2 is positive 1. They are not the same. So we need to be very careful that when we subtract, order is very important. So order is NB. And if you put it in the wrong order, your expression does not mean the same thing. Okay, so I want you to try B, D, and E for me. Put them in the chat, but please remember to number or label your answers B, D, E, so that we know which is which. And then we'll probably take a little brain break after we've gone through these answers. You guys are doing really nicely. Read your questions carefully. I'm liking that we're seeing this order properly. Very nice, guys. Nice. I'm liking that we're all numbering our answers. Please remember to number, otherwise I don't know what's what. Nice. Keep them coming, guys. Well done.
You're doing great, my people. Let's go. You're doing really great.
It's gotten chilly here all of a sudden. I needed like a jersey.
Yeah, I already grabbed one. So it's here because it's getting dark.
Yeah, I might need to in a second. Ooh. Okay, guys, careful for E. It's saying 11 less than Y. So I want the value that is 11 less than Y. And remember, it's an expression. So you're using your operations plus, minus. We're not really at times or divide yet, but those are the operations we're looking at. Okay, nice. Hands up. Who wants to help me with these questions? So we'll start at obviously B. Apelele, do you want to help me with B?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Good morning to everyone. Ma'am, B is C plus 9.
Okay, cool. So it says add C to 9. Sorry, guys, my internet again. So it says add C to 9. Because it's addition, the order doesn't really matter. If we follow the order of the statement, it's saying we have 9 and we're adding C. So the correct order would be 9 plus C. But again, we know that order for addition doesn't make a difference. So C plus 9 will give us the same answer as well. Okay, very nice. Well done, Apelele. Shana, would you like to do D for me?
Evening, ma'am.
Hi.
So I said D plus 9, and then I said slash 9 plus D.
Perfect. Okay, so guys, again, if we read this carefully, D more than 9, I'm starting with 9. Who knows where my pen's gone? I'm starting with 9 and I'm adding D to it. But because it's addition, it's all gone weird. But because it's addition, we could say D plus 9 as well. It would give us the same answer. Nice, well done. Okay, Luandle, do you want to help me with, what are we on? E? No? Have you left me? No, there you are.
Hello, ma'am.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So at E, it says 11 less than Y. So I said it's equal to Y minus 11.
I hope I heard you. Y minus 11.
Yes.
Excellent. Well done. So English. Guys, 11 less than Y. I'm starting with Y and I'm taking 11 away. I want 11 less than whatever Y is. So again, the order is very important. If this had said Y less than 11, it's saying I'm starting with 11 and I want Y less than that. Then the order would switch, but it didn't. It said 11 less than Y. I have Y, I'm taking 11 away. So Y minus 11. Righty, guys, so take your screenshots. If anyone has any questions, now is the time to raise your hand and ask your questions. Otherwise, we're going to take a brain break before we carry on. Walker was on it with the screenshot. No questions, guys?
Are you sure you did understand, right? So take screenshots. Are you sure? No questions, nothing? No? Okay.
I'll take it.
Geniuses.
If you guys are getting this algebra, this is awesome. And again, like I know it seems nice and easy now, and it is nice and easy now, but it will get harder. So this is why we have to make sure we got these basics. Takalani, question?
Ma'am, I don't understand the last one, ma'am.
Okay, so for the last one, let's do this. We are saying that if we think about our number line, we're saying we have Y. We want 11 less than that. So we want to take 11 away from Y. And so if I then set up an expression, I start at Y and I want 11 less. I want to take 11 away from it. So that's why my Y is first. It says 11 less than Y. If I had said 5 less, English, 5 less than 7, I would have said 7 minus 5 because I want 5 less than what I'm starting with. And so if we think about it in terms of numbers, we're taking what it is that I'm starting with and I'm subtracting however much I want it to be less than. Does that make a bit more sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Sometimes I feel like I talk and I just talk myself in circles. But I hope it makes sense. Okay, guys, let's have a look at our brain break. So there was a request last week of, can we do some like fraction style problem solving, word problem sort of questions, which is what I've aimed to do here with our brain break. So, sorry, my joke. We can't leave with the joke. It's too important. So what I've, oh, God, Miss Marla. What I've aimed to do here is give you fraction type of problem solving, word problem type of questions. So let's see how we do. We have done fractions, so you should be able to do this. There's nothing like super complicated about this. But again, we need to read the question carefully. So I'll read it through with you and then you could give it a try. So it says there are 5 kilograms of potatoes. Sandra uses 3/4 kilograms for a stew and 2 1/3 kilograms for mashed potatoes. How many kilograms of potatoes does she have left? So think carefully. Think about what you would need to do here to work that out. And guys, even though this is a brain break, I would suggest writing this down because this is the type of word problem solving sort of question we could ask you with fractions. And so, yes, it's a brain break, but it is also the type of question we could ask you in an assessment setting. So it would be useful to see how to do this question. Right, remember answers on the chat when you have an answer, and hopefully someone will get it and we can go through it. I don't know, English. Didn't we can't put 3/4 as a whole number because 3/4 is less than a whole. So only if it was an improper fraction could we change it. But guys, remember, one of the things I said in our fractions course, if you were with me for the fractions course, is that we don't really like mixed fractions. So we often like to convert everything either to a common fraction or an improper fraction. Oh, Deborah, lovely. I'm going to give everyone a second or two, but Deborah, when I call on you, I'd like it if you would explain it to us, if you are willing. If you aren't, that's also absolutely fine. I won't force you. But I'm going to give everyone a chance to have a think, see if they can agree with you. Vanilla, you could divide. I'm not too sure which number you want to divide. So if you can expand on that a little bit. At Tandu, we can't have 12 kilograms left if we only started with 5. Within, I don't know, bringing potatoes in from somewhere. So we definitely have to have less than 5 kilograms. Kulani, don't stress. We completely understand. Remember, it's all recorded. You can catch a recording. Oh, you can get the recording on the website or the app. Okay, Deborah, do you want to explain it to us? How did you get your answer? If you want to raise your hand. Okay, tell us, how did you get that answer of 1 11/12 kgs?
Hi, ma'am.
Hi.
Okay, so I added 2 1/3 to 3/4, and then I got 37/12. And then I converted, I subtracted 5 from 3 1/12 because that's the answer I got when I simplified. And then when I found the LCD was 12. So then 5 times 12 is 60. So 60 minus 37, which is 23. Then if you simplify that, it's 1 11/12.
Perfect. Okay, that was excellent. So guys, unfortunately, my pen decided to just stop working during that explanation, but it's back now. So I'm just going to go through what Deborah. I do know your name. I'm just losing my mind a little bit today. What Deborah's just explained to us. So what she said is, okay, well, let's work out how much she used. So let's add together the 2 1/3 and the 3/4. Now, guys, remember when we do this, like I said, we don't like mixed numbers. So let's convert this. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. So this would be 7 over 3 plus 3 over 4. We need an LCD whenever we add or subtract. So that's 12, which means that we've got to times that by 4. And so we times the numerator by 4 and times the denominator by 3. So we times the numerator by 3. So that gives us 28 over 12 plus 9 over 12. And that gives us that value of 37 over 12 that Deborah mentioned. So that is how much potatoes she used for both the mashed potatoes and the stew. Then we go and say, okay, we know we started with 5 kilograms. We know we used 37 over 12 kilograms. So let's subtract that and see what we have left. Now, again, you need an LCD. That's 5 over 1. So our LCD here is once again 12. So we would times the 1 by 12 and the 5 by 12. That's where Deborah got 60 from. So we've got 60 over 12 minus 37 over 12. And that gives us 23 over 12 kilograms left. Now, if you left it as an improper fraction, that is fine. Generally, though, in word sums, a mixed number does make a bit more sense. So this as a mixed number is 1 11/12 of a kg of potatoes left over. And so all this was, guys, was applying the correct operations in order to get your answer. Now, if you wanted to, you could do it all in one go by saying 5 minus 3/4 minus 2 1/3 kilograms and do the same thing. Convert your mixed number, get your LCD, subtract, you will get exactly the same answer. It won't be any different. But as long as you can see that you started with some amount, we need to take away certain values to get what's left over, you should be A for away. Okay, so like I said, this is definitely the sort of question we could ask. Definitely the sort of thing we would give you in an assessment. So it's good to be able to deal with it. It's on the way to how do we convert a mixed number? So let's just take the mixed number we have here, 2 1/3. The trick is that we take the denominator and times it by the whole number. So 3 times 2, which gives us 6. And then we take that answer of 6 and add the numerator, so plus 1 in this case, to give us 7. And that is then 7 over the original denominator, 3. If we did another example, just like a random one, let's say you had 7 1/3. We would take 3 and times it by 7. That gives us 21. Add the numerator, 22 over 3. So that's how we convert mixed numbers. Guys, if you're feeling lost, you need to go and watch the fractions videos. This was all done in fractions. So we've done adding and subtracting fractions. We have done converting mixed numbers. So all of this we've done in our fractions course. We're now just looking at it in a word problem context. So I would definitely go back and rewatch the videos that are all on the website to see what's going on. Right, and remember, someone asked, how do we find an LCD? LCD is the smallest number that our denominators can divide into. So if we go here, we've got the denominators 3 and 4. We want to know what is the smallest number they can both divide into. If you think about your multiples, 3, 6, 9, 12, 4, 8, 12, 16. The smallest common one is 12. Hence my LCD is 12. Alrighty, so it is just a brain break, so don't like stress yourself too much, but this is based on knowledge that you have because we did it in our last course. So I would go and rewatch those videos. Right, I'm going to wait in case you want to take a screenshot because like I say, we could definitely ask this sort of thing in a test or an assessment. And then we're going to move on. Alrighty, hope you all have your screenshots. Okay, so like I said in the example where we did the expressions for my age, okay, and like I said, I'm not 20, wish I was 20, but I'm not. what can sometimes happen is we can have this expression, but then I give you the value of your variable. So I can say, okay, cool, here's your expression x plus 4, but now tell me, what is the value of this expression if x is equal to this number? And so this is where we need to be able to substitute. Now, again, most of you can probably do this. It's probably quite repetitive, but this is another way that they assess these sorts of questions. And when we get to more complicated algebra with like exponents and fractions and all of that sort of stuff, being able to substitute is very important. So for example here, this is my expression that I'm working with, x plus 4, and I'm telling you that x is equal to 8. So we want the value of the expression when x is 8. So all we do is we use substitution, which means that we replace x with the value I've given you. So 8 plus 4. And we know that 8 plus 4 is 12. So the value of the expression x plus 4 when x is equal to 8 is 12. If I go over to the 20 side, I'm now saying the value of the very same expression x plus 4, but now where x is equal to 20. So I substitute my value for x, which is 20, and now I've got a value of 24. So when substituting, I would always use brackets just in case there's a sign we need to be careful on. But you need to be able to take a value that you have been given and substitute it in. This is also going to be a very, very useful check when we get to equations. So once we solve for x, we want to be able to check our answer, and that is going to be through substitution. So what I want from you guys is the last 6 answers here. I don't think we need very long. I can see people rolling their eyes at me because you just think this is super boring. So A, B, C, D, E, and F. In the chat, I want answers for those 6, and then we'll have a look at some answers once I've seen a few come through. But take your time, substitute correctly, be careful of your signs, and then we shall go from there. Right, but I want answers in the chat. Remember to label them A, B, C. To me, we have gone through prime factorization. I think it was in our whole number section. That's all online.
Doing good, guys. We're doing really, really good. Let's go. Remember, name them A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay. We can do this. Remember to write it on your book first before you can actually give us the answers. Okay.
Okay, well done to those of you that are done. I'll ask for hands in a second, so just hang on before we start raising hands. Malaka Apulele is done there. Put all the answers labeled nicely for us. Well done. Okay, guys, and again, like I know some of you are sitting there rolling your eyes at me like, oh, ma'am, I know how to do this. But these basic operations, this is where we go wrong. We do something silly and we say that 8 minus 6 is 4. And we know it isn't, but we make a silly mistake. So getting the practice in is very important. Okay, let's again, do not raise your hand until I tell you to. Whoops, sorry. Right. If anyone would like to raise their hand to give me some answers. Delma, do you want to help me with the first one? A? Guys, remember 5-second rule. If you don't unmute yourself, I'll move on. Yep.
Yes, ma'am. Hi, ma'am.
Hi.
A.
Yes.
8 minus 6 equals 2.
Perfect. So
X is
guys,
8, ma'am.
right, x is 8, so we substitute an 8. We've got 8 minus 6, which is positive 2. And again, we need to be careful of that sign. We're subtracting now. Bonolo, B.
Hi, ma'am.
Hi.
Well, ma'am, for B, I said 20 minus 6,
Which is?
which is 14.
Excellent. Well done. Whoops, that's weird. So exactly, guys, 20 minus 6 gives us an answer of 14. Keisha, C.
Hi, ma'am.
Hi.
Ma'am, I said 40 minus 8, which is 32.
Excellent. So 14 minus 8, we're subtracting the 8 here, so the value should get smaller than 40, and so we get 32. Very nice. Litesh, D, guys, please remember to mute yourselves, otherwise it's going to be a chaotic next few minutes. Litesh?
Litesh, okay. Litesh, we'll have to move on, but you can put your answer on the chat.
Yeah. Okay, Chantal, D.
Shanti, we are also leaving you. Where's Shanti? Don't see. Oh, there we go. Chantal, I'm gonna unmute you. Let me try on my side because I see you are focused. Unmute on your side. There we go.
Yes,
You can
ma'am.
talk now. There we
Ma'am,
go.
I said 40 minus 20 equals to 20.
Excellent, well done. So guys, we're taking 20 away from 40, and so that means that our answer is 20. Very nice. Sepo, do you want to give us E?
Hi, ma'am.
Hi.
In E, I said 12 plus 8 is equal to 20.
Perfect. So we're adding 8 here to the value of 12, which means we should get bigger than 12. And so we are getting an answer rather of 20. All right. Fanele, do you want to give us the last one? Loving how many hands we have here, guys. Well done. Fanele, you there? Okay. Remachotwe?
Yes, ma'am.
Last one. Give us F.
Yeah, ma'am. F, I said 12 plus 20, which is 32, ma'am.
Perfect. So here our value for X was 20. So 12 plus 20, which gives us 32. Excellent. Well done.
Thank you, ma'am.
Alrighty, guys. So this method of substitution, whilst yes, it seems time consuming, while yes, it seems silly, you all know how to add and subtract, hopefully. Like I said, the application of substitution comes in so many different sections, particularly in equations. And so when we start to do quite complex equations in like grade 10, 11, and 12, we need to be able to substitute. So it's very important that we understand what substitution is, how to do it. Sorry, Adelma, you can just ignore me. I'm just clicking things away here. So just know how to do that. Right, so guys, can we please lower all these hands that's going on here? I'm trying to lower hands, but it's a very tedious situation. Take your screenshots. And then if you have questions, now is the time to ask. I don't know why I can't. I don't know what's happening. Right. So if anyone has a question, now is the time to ask me your questions.
And well done, my people. You did really well.
Hello, ma'am.
Who's helloing me?
That's Ria Mohetri.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, can I ask, ma'am, is the quiz on Wednesday?
Yes, quiz is on
Yes.
Wednesdays.
Oh, thank you so much, ma'am.
Pleasure. And
For me, yes. Sorry, I'm just gonna, is it fine if I put the poll? Oh, I put it.
Okay, guys, there is the poll. Please make sure you do the poll. Tawana, we have not yet done rates and ratios. I actually need to double check when it's coming up because it's usually done in first term, but I must double check. But no, we haven't done it yet, but we do need to do it, and we will do it because it is an important section.